My client collected $25,000 in cash from a YouTube video that only has 200 views. And now he has multiple hot leads worth tens of thousands more waiting in his pipeline. Not from 200,000 views, 200 views. His prospects are literally jumping on sales calls with him, quoting lines from his videos back to him. So if you think YouTube only works for coaches or that you need millions of views to get results, this video will absolutely prove you wrong. I'm gonna break down the exact strategy we used, the client journey, and why this works so you can implement the same thing for your business. All right, guys, before I dive into the exact strategy I used for this client, I wanna give you a little bit of context about who he is and where he was at before he started working with us. That way you can truly see how valuable YouTube is to your business, especially if you already have momentum on any other social platform. YouTube is really the fuel that'll just explode everything. So let me give you a little bit of context. I am keeping this client specifically anonymous by request, as you can see in this screenshot here from our Slack channel, where he's detailing his 23K euro, about 25K USD win from our content, but he does not want me to show his name. He is in a financial niche, so he probably doesn't want people pocket watching, and understood. I will keep it anonymous, but I do want to share this strategy because it's super valuable, and if you implement it into your own business, you will see results. Granted, if you have a proven offer and some social proof. So like you can see from the screenshot, he has other hot leads in the pipeline. He also told me on a call, this is just a Fathom recap of our call, that the first client he signed is actually his second largest client ever that came, directly from content. They may have found him on LinkedIn, but as soon as they got funneled to his YouTube channel, that did all the nurturing and selling for him, really showed off his competence, and that prospect just wanted to know how he could work with my client. And he also mentioned to me, outside of all the other hot leads in his pipeline, as you can see here, that the investment he made to work with me has already paid itself back, and that all the upcoming months are just funding itself from the revenue we generated from content. He's not even paying for my services out of pocket anymore. The money he's making from content is paying for it. So like you guys can see, this is extremely valuable. Now, where he was at before he started working with me in terms of the YouTube side of things, he did have content uploaded on his channel. We pretty much privatized all of those videos because they were years old and they weren't doing anything for him. They weren't nurturing prospects. So we kind of started off at a blank slate. He had less than 30 subscribers, no audience to leverage, and just no views constantly going up on his channel. And what we built in 90 days, before I jump into that, this $25,000 client actually came in our first month. But what we built in 90 days is just a little under 12 videos across the problem, solution, proof structure. Those views generated about 1,000 views collectively. Total subscribers, he's still under 100. And by traditional YouTube metrics, that would be considered failing, but actual business results is $25,000 cash collected. And the one client that did come from YouTube, like the first one we got in the funnel, closed because they saw his competence and felt like his content was speaking directly to his problems and thought that my client was the guy who could solve them. So that's 100% close rate. Really good. And like we just discussed up here, multiple hot leads in the pipeline, and the system and services are already paying for themselves. All right, now let's start touching on the strategy itself because, it sounds good, but like, how did this client watch his content and think, okay, this is the guy that can solve my problems? So I'm going to walk you through the client journey. And the primary videos that actually converted this client was a problem video addressing a highly specific technical challenge in his industry. And I think we can see that in the screenshot above here, where a potential client got in touch with him and felt like he was talking directly to him. So I don't even think that was the client that closed, but as you can see, just talking about a highly specific technical challenge in their industry is what really pushed them over the edge to think that my client had the competence to solve their problems. And he's charging very high ticket, so these videos need to be good. And then we also had a case study proof video showing results of him working with a similar client and showing pretty much a transformation of when they started versus where they're at now, similar to what I'm doing right now. And the total views on both these videos was like a little over 300 combined. So to recap and make it really simple, what made it work was laser focused problem, very specific to his niche. It was not generic industry advice, which made the prospect see himself in the content and feel like this person understands my exact problem. And then the proof, the case study we showed on his channel, removed all doubt and let his prospects know that this person has solved this problem before. And by the time the prospect hopped on the call, he was already ready to close because the content we created did the nurturing and selling for him. All right, now let's talk about the exact 3 video framework that we used so that you can use this strategy in your business right now when you're creating content. So the first video is, like we just talked about, hyper-specific problem content. The main problem video wasn't generic industry advice. It addressed a specific technical challenge that his ICP actively searches for. So something that's keeping your ICP up at night and they actively are looking for solutions for. And most people in his industry don't make content about this topic because it's too technical or it's too niche and they care about views for whatever reason. And this immediately differentiated him as a rare expert. And the fact that we got so specific, it attracted only the right people. Because if you don't have this specific problem, you're not going to click to watch. It's not going to rank in your search. So we only got a couple hundred views, but it was from the right audience, and that's all that matters. And then second framework video is his unique solution. Not only did he let his prospects know he was deeply aware of their problems, he also let them know that he has a proven solution on how he would solve their problems. So we went in depth on, hey, we know you're having this problem. This is exactly what I would do to solve that problem. And then here's proof that it actually works. So we have the case study video that was critical to the conversions. It showed real results with a real client in a similar situation. It removed the objection, has this person actually done it before? I mean, my client is a professional. He's kind of well known in his niche. He definitely knows what he's doing, but this was just actual static proof on his YouTube channel that just showed the solutions he's giving out have actually worked before. And again, these videos don't get the most views, but they convert the warmest prospects. And the fourth element to this is having multiple touch points. So prospect first watched the problem video, then they rewatched, left comments on his videos. Some of the comments were literally saying, hey, I really appreciate this video, or it's rare to see an expert touch on these specific topics in his industry. And then they watch the case study video, and then they reach out directly to see if they can hop on a call and talk about next steps. But the fact that we had all these videos is extremely important because there is the 7-11-4 rule in action. You need multiple touch points to build trust for high ticket. So if we only had one video on his channel, probably wouldn't have converted as fast. And the fact that we built this library let the prospect watch multiple videos of him just displaying his competence once again, and then decided to buy from him. This is why our video ecosystem is absolutely essential for building trust and guiding your prospects through the entire buyer journey. So this is really possible because getting 200 of the right views is much better than getting 200,000 views from people who would never buy from you. And my client didn't need to send cold DMs to this prospect. He didn't need to manually nurture or chase him. The content did all the work for him. The prospect self-educated and reached out when he was ready. And that is the power of inbound. They come to you pre-sold, not you chasing them, begging them for a call where they're completely cold and don't even really want to buy anything from you. And the second element is professional execution. The videos were professionally edited for retention, cuts, pacing, on-screen elements that just gave the prospect a better viewing experience. So we had visual elements that complemented what he was talking about on the screen, which made it really easy to understand. The thumbnails were clean, high contrast, and clearly communicated value. And the titles were optimized for search, so the right people found the content. SEO was absolutely dialed in, description tags, keywords, and my client didn't handle any of this technical execution. We did. And that's really the implementation reality. That's kind of why most people can't do this alone. So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. YouTube works even for technical B2B niches. And you're absolutely right. It does work. But knowing it works and executing a system that generates $25,000 plus are very different things, because this alone right here, knowing these 3 video frameworks, that's actually pretty easy. Like if you have a proven offer, you know the problems of your ICP, you have your own unique solution, and you have proof it works, case studies, social proof, that comes with having a proven offer. But really where it gets difficult is having this professional execution element. All the editing, all the thumbnail design, all of the strategy that goes into it. It's really like adding another full-time job onto your plate, which is why most people give up, which is why people don't really see results as fast as some of my clients do, because understanding the strategy and executing it are 2 completely different things. And why my client succeeded is because he just focused on his expertise. He focused on what he does best, which is delivering his service and adding in his own competence and expertise. Because the way we handle the scripts is the hooks and the CTAs in the videos, those are all written word for word, but then we have the body of the script, which is all in a bullet pointed fashion where he has the freedom to add in any of his expertise. So I tell him what to talk about and he just expands on it with his own knowledge and expertise. And we have a great team of editors to where we can just cut it if he's anything like me and likes to ramble. And after he's made his point, we'll move it on to the next. So he focuses on his expertise and we handle all of the execution. All he did was show up, record the scripts we give him, send us back the raw footage, then we edit, we upload, we do the thumbnails and titles, we do the SEO, everything else is handled for him. And the results of that was $25,000 cash collected in the first month, multiple hot leads in his pipeline, and a system that is continuing to compound over time. The videos we made months ago are still nurturing prospects, still getting interest from people in his industry. If you want results like this, where 200 views leads to $25,000 cash collected because every single view is from your ideal client, click the link in the description, book a free call with me. I'll review your business, your ICP, and your offer, and I'll show you exactly how we build a YouTube client acquisition system tailored around your business. We handle everything from ideation, scripting, SEO, uploading, and editing. All you do is show up and record. This client collected $25,000 in his first 30 days with us, so click the link below and let's build your system. See you.